This is topic C on page 14, consolidating data. The ability to use 3D references to summarize datasets with identical layouts is a powerful, handy feature. But what if you need to summarize data from datasets that aren't laid out in precisely the same way? Or what if you want to summarize data from a number of worksheets in different workbooks? Life isn't always neat and tidy, and unfortunately the same can be said of workbook data. The good news is that Excel enables you to summarize data from multiple worksheets regardless of whether or not the data is in the same location on each worksheet, or even if the worksheets are in the same workbook. This means you can get a bird's eye view of your overall data picture without having to painstakingly copy and paste your raw data into the same workbook and modify the layout so that it all matches. So data consolidation is another means of summarizing data from other worksheets and workbooks, as you learned by creating links and 3D formulas in the previous topics. Excel enables you to consolidate data based on either relative cell positions in the various source data sets or by categories, which are based on row and column labels. You can summarize consolidated data by using summary and statistical functions available in Excel. So here on my consolidate worksheet, I have my products column. I have my quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 columns, but you can see the products are now listed in a different order. So this is just a different example. Now my product sales totals, I was easily able to use 3D references because they were in the same order as my initial worksheets for my different continents. Now, suppose my consolidate data, I have my products listed here, and you can see they're in a different order. I can actually consolidate this data, and it will match up the products. So it would match up television here, and television here, match it up on the consolidate worksheet with television here, and place the data that I calculated in the right position. So I could actually have them mixed up in a different order on every single continent worksheet here, but it would be able to match up the row headers and the column headers and then make the calculation that I specify. So to do that, I first want to go to my consolidate worksheet, and I want to select my whole entire range. So this is going to be A1 through E11. I would go up to the Data tab on my ribbon, and in my Data Tools command group, here I have my Consolidate command, which opens up my dialog box. Now here, I want to first specify which function I'm going to be calculating. So I'm adding up the quarter totals from each of my different continent worksheets. So I do want my sum function here. And then I want to add all of my references that I'll be adding up. So I would put my cursor in my reference field, first navigate to my first worksheet, which was my North American worksheet, and I want to select the range that I'm going to be using here, which is A1 through E10. Ignore that grand total row there. We won't be using that. So just the product quarterly sales, and I'm going to add that to my list. Now I want to go back, and in my references field, I'm going to go select the second range for my second worksheet. Navigate to my Europe tab, select the range A1 through E10, and I'm going to add that to my list. And then lastly, do that for my Asia as well. A1 through E10, add that to my list. Now along the bottom where it says use labels in, I'm going to be matching up using my row labels, so my left column, and also I'm going to be matching up my top row for my column headers. So I want to check that checkbox off as well. And then the create links to source data will show you the details once you consolidate it on your new worksheet. So I'm going to click that as well and select OK. Now I get my railroad tracks here. Remember, that only means that my columns are not wide enough to show my data, so I can just, I have it selected here, I can actually auto fit my column widths for these. And you can see that it took the total for all of my printers from all of my different worksheets. Also take note that it added an additional column here. It put it in outline form in your left-hand margin here. So I can actually click number 2 and it will show the details of where all of these figures are coming from. So it actually shows the quarter figures from, these are all from the Chapter 1 workbook. So it shows the $7,599.24, which came from, let's see, what product was that? That was the printer. So 7,000 actually came from our Asia workbook. And then it took that and it added for your North American and your Europe. So it shows the details for every value as well. And then you can see it's summing those values up, adding them together to get the total for the printers. So you do have your outline view if you want to show more details, or you can click number 1 to keep that collapsed if you wish. So again, consolidating data is a good way to perform different functions on your data that is not in, the correct order, has the same exact setup, but you can use those row and column labels so they can match up your different items in each column and row. So then your next video will be activity 1-3 on page 17.